Hey, this is Notser, and we are looking at the Late Tier Japanese Battleships. First up, we've got the Tier 6 Japanese Battleship, Fuso, 12 356mm guns. Awesome range, of course. AA is fair. Meh, that's pretty much the Japanese battleships in a nutshell. Speed is terrible. You really do notice the drop. The speed is very American, and that's not good. The concealment, pretty poor, but the bow and stern armor have been increased to 25mm, and that's an important threshold. That means any gun caliber equal to or less than 356mm will fail to overmatch your bow or stern armor. You can't even do that to your own ship if you happen to run against an enemy Fuso. So keep in mind, the Mutsu can absolutely overmatch 410, the Bayern 380. Those are two examples of tier 6s that you will fight that can overmatch your bow and stern. However, pretty much nobody at tier 5, nobody at tier 4, and most people at tier 6 can't overmatch you. Definitely take expert marksman in this Japanese battleship. It's pretty much a standard take. They don't really excel at turret traverse, and that's okay. Average AA, speed's terrible. You definitely notice it. Rudder's okay. Definitely better than some, worse than others. And the turn radius, it's a long ship. So keep that in mind. Next up, we've got the premium tier 6 in the Mutsu. It's got 8 410mm guns, largest at its tier. Warspite used to be there, not anymore. It's got torpedoes as well, which is interesting. 7-kilometer range, not exactly the best use case. It's just there. Armor, 25mm at the front, 25mm at the stern. That's the way it goes. Faster than the Fuso, slightly better turning, same length, better concealment than the Fuso. So what you're getting in the Mutsu is basically a tier 6 Nagato. That's really what it feels like. Its turrets, of course, super slow expert marksman. 410 is great. It is very competitive against everything you'll face, plus or minus. I mean, it is awesome. Don't expect to use the torpedoes that often. Pray that people don't actually want to attack you with aircraft. It is an issue. It is an issue. And the length, again, the Japanese, large turn radius compared to the competition. Other battleship lines, they're extending the length of their ships to match the Japanese, but if you're expecting a tight turn, you're not going to get it here. Now, you do get speed, and you do get gun caliber, which is really nice, and when this was released, they did a lot of tweaks to make it competitive, and it does feel very rewarding. It can play at tier 6, it can play against tier 4s, tier 8s, very similar. It's a solid premium, a very solid premium Japanese battleship. I would absolutely take it out and have fun with it. I didn't really find any issues with it to stop me from picking it up. It's a completely different ship than the Fuso, which is nice. Here we have the tier 7 in the Nagato. The Nagato, 8 410mm guns, very similar to Mutsu, higher armored Mutsu, basically. It's got better AA protection, slightly slower because it has a little bit more armor than the Mutsu, and concealment is a little worse than the Mutsu. But what you're getting is battle-tested tier 7, very competitive against any other battleship at its tier. Colorado can't really compete in the gun caliber and also the speed and maneuverability. It's just a better platform. It's more recognizable. The Colorado has to deal with a really, really slow ship, and it's a real issue. I mean, it's a real issue. The Scharnhorst, almost half the gun caliber, 283 versus 410. I mean, it's a big jump from the Scharnhorst. And then you've got the Gneisenau. The Gneisenau only has 6 guns. So at its tier, in the Nagato, at tier 7, it really brings a unique flavor that nothing else has. And this is much closer to the future battleships of every single line than all the other tier 7s. So it's a really fun platform. Expert marksman again. It's a broken record. Expert marksman. Its 25mm is just not enough to stop gun calibers that you will meet routinely at this tier. So expect to take extra damage in the nose and the stern. Tier 8 absolutely have no trouble with it. The only ship at Tier 7 that's going to have trouble with it is the Scharnhorst, and the Scharnhorst has trouble with a lot of things. If you're top tier, you will actually have a pretty immune bow, except for maybe the Mutsu and the Bayern. But if you are mid-tier or bottom tier, expect the enemy battleships to take advantage of your bow and stern. It's just the way it works out. Here's the Tier 8, the Amagi. Really great ship. 10 410mm guns. Average to meh. AA protection, probably the same thing. Very quick, 30 knots, so you can get to the battlefield and impact it quickly. The armor on the bow and the stern went up, 32mm, that's great. Now there's only one battleship in the game that can overmatch your bow and stern, and that, of course, is the Yamato, and we're getting there. Don't worry, we're getting there. But the Amagi, extremely competitive, really good angling on your guns. You can bob and weave, pull the trigger on your AP, minimize the angle that you present to the enemy, and really be a terror against the enemy team. And 32mm is an important threshold, because if you're top tier, nothing can pin it. Not a single battleship can pin it. Even if you're going up against tier 9s, not a single battleship can pin it. If you're going up against tier 10s, there's only one battleship that you have to worry about. And sometimes it's not on the enemy team. Most of the time it is, but most of what you look to do in the Amagi is fire your guns, your big 410mm guns. You angle, and you can angle back very quickly. Just keep up the firepower, keep up the pressure, and really go to town. Good accuracy. That's really what is always noticeable with the Japanese, in my opinion. You know, battleships always toss around their shells. The Germans, notorious for being inaccurate, but not the Japanese. The Japanese, they've got accuracy locked down. It really does feel like a pleasure to play them. And I can attest this was one of the first lines I ever played. I didn't have any trouble going all the way. We're at the Tier 9 and the Izumo. Now this is a ship that might have caused a little bit of issue. A lot of people early on skipped it. It's got 9 410mm guns, oddly placed in the front. AA's okay. Speed's fairly good. Its concealment is the worst in the game for a battleship, and it's got a lot of deck space. It's got 32mm bow and stern, which is nice, and 32mm everywhere. So the HE of 203s, not going to have trouble with it. Inertia fuse high explosive on 155s, 152s, not going to have any trouble. There's a lot of places to not shatter on the ship. So you're probably going to take higher than average damage in general in this particular ship. But probably the most frustrating aspect is the front-mounted guns. It forces you to really play a bow-on strategy. And when you do that, your guns are basically always incapacitated in some form, because they're right in the front. You know, the enemy can't aim as well as you would like. Please, shoot anything but the guns. I beg you. Don't knock them out. I use better main battery protection. I get preventative maintenance. Doesn't help. The guns are going to be knocked out, going to be incapacitated, just as they are in this game, and you're just going to have to deal with it. Now, interesting stats that come online with this particular ship. You can go to the max secondary gun range, if you so choose, of 10.6. If you get the module and you get all the signal flags, advanced fire train, that sort of thing. But everyone remembers this ship as being just part of the process of reaching the real prize. Now, does that mean it's completely worthless? No. You can get rate of fire. The ship honestly doesn't really need expert marksman, unless of course you get rate of fire, which everyone gets rate of fire because of tier 9. You just gotta understand what you're good at. You've got probably the best rate of fire and the best accuracy combined. But you don't obviously have a good gun caliber compared to your bigger sister ship that you're about to get. So, cruisers and destroyers are very afraid of you. Battleships, not so much. Just keep that in mind. But let's get to the queen of all battleships. The Tier 10 Yamato. 9 460mm guns. Secondaries can reach out to 10.6 if you so choose to build her like that. AA's okay. Speed, all right. Concealment, actually pretty good. You can get it down to 13.5, and yeah, bring the 460s around so they can't see me. 32 millimeters is all over the ship, bow, stern, every which way, but the real prize of this ship is the fact that it does not care at all about bow armor angling. It overmatches everything. There's only specific parts of the Germans. They like to put extra armor around the waterline, but pretty much everyone else, terrified. There is nothing that stops it, not even you. You don't stop it either. So just bring that AP and let's have a go. I personally almost make the mistake. Oh, well, I should go superstructure. It's a 460. It doesn't care. It doesn't care about your angled bow. And that's the real power of the ship. The fact that you just keep AP loaded and you do tons of damage all the time. No matter the angle, no matter the armor. Yeah, Yamato, pretty good. Pretty good ship. And of course, this is legendary. People wait, months working their way towards the tier 10. And what they get is, honestly, lives up to the hype. In World of Tanks, you'd go after the TIER, right? Well, you go after Yamato in this, and having 460s against maybe a broadside Montana about to come around the island feels pretty good. The turret traverse, terrible. One of the slowest in the game. In fact, I think with the Warspite supposed buffs, it will be the slowest in the game. But who cares? You just do so much damage, and you don't care about anything. I'm just waiting to absolutely obliterate the Citadel with my large caliber gun. That's all that matters. 460. There's not going to be a gun caliber that will match it ever in the game. They've said this is the ceiling that they're going with. And that's great. That's great that you can reach the pinnacle of the gun caliber in the Yamato. So I hope you've enjoyed this exploration of the Japanese battleships. Great accuracy. Gun caliber, second to none. AA's okay. Speed, all right. Fast in some tiers, slow in others. And just overall, it's a pleasure to play the Japanese battleships. They're always fun. They're always interesting to take out and just see what you can do against the enemy. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.